It was hard to believe that the grandson of a slave and the son of a poor tenant farmer had become the pride of the nation. Life doesn't give all the practice races you need. You have to go for it. Said by the greatest athlete of all time, Jesse Owens. He knew it. It was not going to be an easy path for him to go to the Berlin Olympics at the age of 23. He practiced a lot. He had undergone the practice that a man could ever dreamed of. And you know what? It was not an easy task for a black people to enter the Olympics at that time, because it was the time of the racism. Racism was on the peak, and during that period, Germans were under the control of Nazis, the leader Hitler. And it was the Hitler's plan to show the entire world his dominance through the Berlin Olympics. But his plans, his dreams, everything was crushed by the African American, the son of a poor tenant farmer, Jesse Owens. How had it all happened? What happened in the Berlin Olympics? That's what we are going to discuss in this part of the class. An extraordinary feat, the story of the greatest athlete Jesse Owens. Jesse Owens had equaled one world record and broken 3 world records in the Big Ten Track and Field Championships event that held in the University of Michigan in the year 1935. It was a year after the Big Ten Track and Field Championships, and there was the Berlin Olympics. He got a ticket to the Berlin Olympics at the age of 23. He was only 23 when he entered the Berlin Olympics, and he was selected for many track and field events in the Berlin Olympics. His path to the Berlin Olympics was not an easy one. He had undergone a lot of practice that one could ever dreamed of, and his practice had yielded the best thing, the Berlin Olympics. What had happened in the Berlin Olympics? Berlin Olympics, which held in 1936. It was in Germany. And in the Berlin Olympics, on August 3, 1936, he participated in the 100 meters event. And in that 100 meters event, he had given his best effort, and that yielded his first gold medal, the first ever gold medal in his lifetime. In the 100 meters event, he got the first gold medal. And the next event was on August 4, 1936. It was a long jump event. For Jesse, it was really an easy task to jump a long distance. But you know what? On that day, he was nearly disqualified. His first 2 jumps were disqualified by the authorities. He had only one last jump. He was so stressed in that time. And one of his participants in that event knew it really well. He could easily qualify for the final event if he jumped from a long distance. And he advised, it was Lars Long, a German participant has advised Jesse Owens to jump from a long distance, that he could easily qualify for the final round, and in that final round he could achieve the gold medal. That was the advice given by Lars Long during the long jump event. Jesse did it. Just as he said, Jesse jumped from a long distance and he qualified for the final event. And in that event, he had won his second gold medal. On August 4, 1936, in the long jump event, he got the second gold medal. And the next event was on 5th August 1936. It was a 200-meter dash. And he participated in that event. He got the 3rd gold medal. He got the 3rd gold medal on August 5, 1936 for the event 200-meter dash. And the next event was on 9 August 1936. It was a team event. He was one of the persons in the team. 4 into 100-meter rally. And in that event, the American team had won it. It was his fourth gold medal. First gold medal on 3rd August, second one on the 4th August, third one on 5th August, and the last one on 9th August. So there were 4 gold medals. He had won 4 gold medals in one Olympics. That was a historical moment at that time. He had crushed the plans of Nazis and he had become the pride of the nation, the pride of the United States. And this achievement, this particular 4 gold medals achievement was unparalleled, unequal for 48 years. In 48 years, no one could get 4 gold medals in one Olympics. But this achievement was finally taken over by an American in 1984 Olympics. In those same events, he had got 4 gold medals. Berlin Olympics was the talk of the town in that time in the United States of America. And Jesse Owens, a son of a poor tenant farmer, became the famous talk at that time. And after the completion of the Olympics, you know what? The leader of the Nazi party, Adolf Hitler, didn't shake the hands of Jesse Owens. And when Jesse Owens landed on the United States of America, the President of the United States didn't shake his hand either. Because racism was on the peak. Jesse felt really bad. And in an event, he had mentioned about his friend Laszlo. You can melt down all the medals and cups I have, and they wouldn't be plating on the 24-karat friendship I felt for Laszlo at that moment. He and Laszlo became friends. Though he became the pride of the nation, his financial situation was not up to that level. He was so poor. Still, he was so poor, so he did not participate in any of the amateur events. He started participating in the paid events. He was paid for participating in those events. But this participation worked against him and he was not able to participate in any of the Olympics which had happened next to that. Because very few companies were ready to sponsor him. And in the later years, he became the Goodwill Ambassador of the United States. Goodwill Ambassador, he is the representative of the United States. His job was to travel to the countries and to create a good relationship between the United States and the other countries. That was the job of the Goodwill Ambassador. In 1972, he traveled one more time to Germany. In 1972, Munich Olympics. For Munich Olympics, he traveled to Germany as the representative of the United States. And his journey became to end. He died in the year 1980. Until his death, his record was not beaten. His record was beaten in the year 1984 after his death. So until his death, he was the pride of the nation. He had secured 4 gold medals. 4 gold medals in 1936 Berlin Olympics. Owens proved that the one who practices a lot would never fail. Your job is to think of your dream and work hard for it, so that you could achieve your dream one day. And that's the end of the story. Thank you for watching this video. Have a happy day. See you again in the next video.